salad or dolly, threw a great party. We all drank Bacardi, it got kinda gnarly. We're light as a feather, we're tougher than leather. Together we're weirder together.
Weirder Together podcast. In the bedroom.
In the bedroom.
In bed with Weirder Together.
Like Yoko and John.
Yeah, or Madonna.
We're having a bed-in. What was her thing? In
bed with Madonna, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the American version of that film was called, I forgot, there was two different names for that film.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
One was the British version, one was the American.
Okay, so why are we in bed?
We're in bed because we are in between studios.
Well, but potentially this is the new studio.
Yeah, I'm vying for this.
Yeah, so basically we went onto a new network, Curious, great experiment, loved being able to shoot in their studios. It hasn't ended up being like such a profitable business for them. So we've taken it back under our control for the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm kind of excited about this era because there was something about being in a studio with like other people watching.
It was a bit, yeah. I mean, as an entertainer, you have to learn how to be relaxed in every environment. Of course, doing it like homegrown, you're more relaxed. But because this is a rental, relatively new house, it feels like a studio.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. At set decorating a new bedroom.
See, I thought it was more the other way, that we were looking for the feeling to maybe not be like a studio. Like the idea of
but because it's a bedroom, it'll never 100% feel like a studio.
That's true. So, and what do you think about...
But we do have the cock chair. What does they call it?
Cuck chair.
Cuck chair.
Yeah.
My daughters tease me because I have a bedroom chair.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Come on. I mean...
But one of the things I'm interested in is that the more formal element of the way we were doing it. Firstly, if you're not watching video, you can find the video on YouTube or on Spotify.
If you're super curious about our
if you
set,
really want to see us in our bedroom.
It's fabulous.
But sitting in a more conventional studio in chairs facing each other, it lent itself to more of a talk show feel. And I'm wondering if by transitioning back to home, if we're going to approach different areas of the psyche or different areas of conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right.
In what ways do you think this may lend itself to us moving forward?
I think it's going to be just warmer and better than ever.
Yeah, it's a bit more intimate, isn't it?
Yeah, and I love Ben's wearing a t-shirt he got in Bangkok. It was a vintage Versace shirt.
Yeah, it's a pretty great shirt.
It says Gianni Versace.
Hey, repping.
And it's really nice.
Repping for the Lion King. So we just got back from Blackheath, where we had a beautiful night away at our friend Sarah and Trent's house.
Yep.
And we took your mum and stepdad out there.
Yeah.
Great experience. How would you rate it?
Oh my God. Well, it's known, the Blue Mountains are known for these mountains called Three Sisters, which we almost didn't see. And last minute, my mom said, why don't we go there? And it's a great reveal, these Three Sisters, because as you start walking toward the vast, it's not like Grand Canyon, but the mountain region of the Blue Mountains is quite vast. And you're sort of like thinking, are those the Three Sisters? This is very unclear. It looks more like 6, 7 mountains. And then you turn the corner and you very clearly see these petite but beautiful Three Sister mountains, meaning they're not like as big as you, but it's a great reveal, which I love in nature and life.
Well, they're more like 3 giant rock piles, aren't they? Less than mountains.
No, they're a part of a mountain.
Yes, they're part of a mountain.
Yeah, but don't you like a kind of surprise, like a surprise?
A surprise formation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise. But moving back in time, if this was a movie and then you say 24 hours earlier, and we cut to the scene before, it was a misunderstanding between a mother and daughter.
Oh, it was on.
It was on. And the misunderstanding was so fascinating. So let me try to wrap this up quickly.
No chance. There's no chance.
This is a hairy dog story. Is that what it's called? Hairy dog?
Shaggy dog.
Shaggy dog. Yeah. We get there, and my mom is like got a poker face. That's just her cool. She's cool. She's like, she just like, you can't tell what's going on in her mind, which is...
Hence her being a poker champion.
She's a poker champ. She's a poker face. So I don't sometimes as the child, I think, is she unhappy? Is she having a good time? Da-da-da-da.
Now, I don't want to derail you, but I do wonder if we think a lot about genetic predispositions in things like sport and music.
Yeah.
But there may be genetic predispositions in poker, too.
I hope.
That if you are someone that has a less expressive face, you may just have a more natural inclination to the bluff.
No, it's a good thing to have. And we did play pool with her at a really great pub that you can't find these kind of pubs in the States, even in New England. And anyway, so we had a really nice time. But earlier that day, we get to Blackheath, and first we're walking, just checking out the one main drag where you have the cute shops and, whatever. We had a really amazing little lunch that was almost like we were at We Care. It was almost like we were on a diet. They had such small but beautiful food portions. In any case. Dainty portions of delicious food, which was great. Really be good for Ozempic people because it was like small portions. It was really good. After that, we're walking around the town. And she says, because we'd seen this great house, and
our friend's house is just beautiful.
Beautiful.
So it's like
there's
modern
3 beds. It's really fab. 3 bedrooms, but one bed is like an air mattress. So
for the kids.
Whatever. But 2 great beds. And my mom and her husband have to sleep in the same bed, which these days they don't usually because
snoring.
One person in the family snores, in any case, in the couple. And so sometimes they like to split up, old school. And so she said, so we were on this walk after we'd seen the house, whatever. And she was like, I'm just floating an idea. If we want to drive back tonight, we have dinner and then we don't spend the night. We just want to drive back. We could, because it's an hour and a half from Sydney.
Now, before you go into how you responded, I will say at this moment, it was biblical. It was like the clouds parted. There was a revelation of, I guess these are moments where mothers and daughters get triggered. There was a deep triggering occurred that it'll go into the lore of your relationship.
Yes.
Because what did you hear?
Well, because then she said, because, we had a double bed and they had a queen, but my mom and they prefer to sleep separately if possible. They like to chill on the bed and watch shows, and they have a lovely relationship. But for nights, when you get older, insomnia, it's easier. I get it.
The Kama Sutra remains in the bed, but the sleeping is separated.
So, but she says, well, because you're in the smaller bed, we have never mentioned, by the way, a double for us is like fun and fine. And the bed was great. So I didn't mention, oh my God. So I think...
No, you're about to relitigate the argument. Okay. Let's not do that.
I'm not. I'm just saying what my motivation was.
Yes.
I think in a paranoid way, she's being manipulative. She wants to leave because she doesn't want to sleep in the whatever. And so she's pretending it's because, we shouldn't have the double bed.
Gotcha.
So that she's pretending this is for us, but actually it's for her. So what I do, because I'm a bitch and whatever, I say, there's a train that's like an hour and a half to 2 hours, lovely train through the woods, right back to Sydney. If you want to, because Ben and I actually, we really want to spend the night.
I love the way you're telling the story is as if your tone was completely calm and chill. You went on a rampage about the train. There's a train. You should get on the train right now. You can go get on it. We'll drop you at it. You can go. You went. Yeah, wild.
And not only that. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't screaming at an old woman.
No, but it was aggressive.
I wasn't. It wasn't.
You were angry.
It wasn't elder abuse, but it was.
No, I would never accuse you of elder abuse intentionally.
But it was hostile. And then not only that, Richard was buying a beautiful pen, which I kind of want to see if I can find online because it was really lovely. But he's in a store buying a pen. He comes out. And I say, Richard, by the way, not only do I go on and on and on about the train she can take if she wants, but I say to Richard, my stepfather, tell him all about the train. And he doesn't know what I'm talking about because I thought they were in cahoots or something. And he was just like, what are you talking about? I just bought a pen. I'm in love with this pen. Anyway.
I think we can leave out some of the details because we're now 10 minutes into the story of the fight with your mom.
Okay, here's the the beauty of nature and the three mountains, the three sisters who were maybe working their magic. We get back, we have dinner. Mom and I are like civil because we love each other, but we don't, whatever. We move on. We have a nice night, play pool. She's great. She wins. It's great. Anyway, we get back to the house, make a fire. And then Ben, which you usually like to like let go of things, but you said, "Are you guys going to make up?" And I was thinking I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to like let it all go. And then we had, as if we were in family therapy, an amazing conversation where we got to the bottom of it. And it was a true misunderstanding. My mom actually felt, which was amazing. She had this emotional intelligence. I think she felt bad that we made a trip for her and the pressure was too much for her.
Yeah.
So she imagined we were uncomfortable, but her motivation was good, even though it doesn't make much sense to me, like to suddenly imagine we're not having a good time when we were. And we came to the bottom of it that she's not the best communicator. Her gifts are in her presence, like fully amazing, but she doesn't look after herself. She thinks of others.
Well, mothers historically sacrifice for everybody.
100%.
Right?
And so her looking after us actually was too much. This is where it gets confusing. And then you imagine you're helping people sometimes when really it's not so helpful. We all do this. But so it was kind of beautiful to dig deeper.
But cut to the hug.
Oh my God.
Come
then,
on.
I know, but listen.
That's
so then
the
what
happy
happened
ending.
was, oh my God, the scene. So we separate. Everyone gets ready for bed. I come back out into the kitchen. She's facing away from me in this nightgown, and I see her, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like my grandma. Like she's 80. She in a nightgown. She looks vulnerable. She looks old, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? So we go, and I say, I'm so glad we talked, and she said, she calls me pussycat, and she was like, you're my pussycat, and we hugged, and I'm like, it's like you get to hug your grandma when your mom gets, if you're lucky enough to have a mother get to the age that you had your grandparents. So it's like all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I'm like that generational thing people talk about. Like, I don't know. I was hugging like my mom, but also like my grandma. And I loved my grandma. So it was like, and then I woke up in the middle of the night feeling like a horrible person.
Well, speaking of geriatrics, we did go to the club at 7:30 in the morning, and we posted about this on TikTok, and it's gone a little bit viral. So it was the Astral People party, 24-hour party at the Abercrombie, Bar Freda's in the city, and instead of going at 10 p.m. like everybody else, we were like, let's do the morning shift.
Yeah.
So we got up at 7 in the morning.
We slept all night. Like we went to bed at 10:30, slept, and then we got up 7, and then we got on our clothes, got a coffee, and went over to the club.
Went to the club, and everyone was still going from the night before. But the funny thing about it was that we posted this little clip of it on social media, and everyone assumed that we were kicking on after a night partying. And there were all these comments like, by the age of you guys, I would get your priorities straight and not act like you're 20. And we're like, dude, this was the most responsible clubbing anyone has ever done.
I know. We weren't partying. We literally like did a walk through.
Yeah.
We just looked at each room
But
and
it was
then
so fun. It was like
left, but it
such
was
a great vibe.
I know. I was scared to go because I didn't want to go because I was scared to see people on drugs all night, like people who'd done drugs all night till the morning, because I was like afraid that it was going to be disturbing. But it wasn't. It was like fine. People were dancing. Some people were drinking coffees. A couple of people looked like messed up, but mainly there was one cuddle puddle room, like a room where there was a couple kind of making out. Maybe they're on, ecstasy. I don't know. But it wasn't disturbing. And the reason why I made myself go was I hate to be left out of things you're doing.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm going in the morning,
and I was
whether
like,
you want to or
I
not.
have to go now because I can't let Ben have an experience I'm not having. No, but also I just in my heart knew it was good.
But shout out to Dave and Carla and the Astral People team and everyone at the Abercrombie and Bar Freda's, because they're really, we've talked about it before, but they are really doing their part to like reinvigorate Sydney nightlife. And I've just been very impressed with these types of things that are just sort of expanding the scope of what people think of as happening in Sydney culturally.
And it was so nice. Like I'm not saying like partying is like the best thing in the whole wide world, but looking at the clips that people posted, there's like, it's very loving and nice. Like the dancing, it didn't feel dark and like, you know, dudes picking up chicks and whatever. It felt like sexy and fun and nice.
And playful.
And I don't know. It was a mix, and it's such a mix of straight and gay and whatever. So we're definitely the old heads walking around there.
Really good though. And the night before, I'd actually DJ'd at a beautiful baby's birthday party.
Hey.
And I am DJ Dadbod is available for private bookings. I don't come cheap. But I am available. I do, and I went in, and it was a really fun. It was a 50th birthday.
But you come cheerful.
I'm not cheap, but I am cheerful. But I met a bunch of people who were listening to the pod, and it was so nice.
And you did a great set.
I did. I felt like the set was probably like, I don't know, like I started DJing not as a joke, but without the expectation that I could ever be actually like technically any good at it or something.
It just so happened you. Like you're infectious. Like a part of a DJ thing is their personality.
Host.
The party host. And also, of course, their style and if they're good. And there's obviously really amazing DJs and stuff, talented. But you, like, it's funny when we first met, it's like I assume because you sing like pop, folk, whatever music, like you would only listen to that. So whenever you were DJing, I was like, wow, you're really good taste in my mind. But like, why wouldn't you have good taste?
What you're saying is,
Don't judge.
Your music sucks. Why are you a good DJ?
No, you know, I'm not saying that.
I'm kidding.
No, it would be like, you know, like if someone only sang country music, like they would only listen to country music. It was very like closed-minded. But you're really good. And I think it just like you started practicing in the living room in Laurel Canyon, and me and Diane and would like you have private dances.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And I don't know, I think it just like you accidentally became so
I feel kind of proud of just, I don't know, the set the other night at that party. It was my most creative set yet. So I felt excited about that. I did want to chat about, we talked a few weeks ago about the Keli Holiday song, Dancing To. Keli Holiday, Dancing To, the #1 Australian single last week. Weirder Together were on it early. I think this is a fascinating case study for something of really high quality that has connected purely out of social media, bypassing traditional record labels. It's obviously Abby Chatfield's, Adam's partner, has a massive platform, but it's not the size of the platform that made this happen. It's the authenticity of the song, the videos that were being made, the genuinely infectious quality of it. It's been really exciting to watch it happen.
I know, it's such a romantic song. It's a banger, and I think it's gonna creep over to like, I think it's gonna go. I think it's got a life beyond its initial like huge moment it's having. But listen to Dancing To. It's super romantic. It's just like that. It's just a beautiful like romantic, bring a tear to your eye, but like joyful. Yeah, it's so sweet, and
it kind of reminds me
about it.
Yeah, it really reminds me to like, I don't know. I feel like you get this sort of these limiting beliefs about breaking through in culture. One thing, just as we're filming, is that's in this shot. So just, you know what I mean? Just no. We've got to adjust to this kind of thing.
And let me while we're pausing.
Okay, well, we're not pausing, but we're just it's entertaining for people.
Okay, cool.
But
it's like the first. It's like as everyone on everyone on Instagram in the States and Europe and other parts of the world are like getting ready for sweater weather, and in Australia, I feel like the lone person who's like getting ready for my summer tan.
Yeah, we're heating up, baby.
This is the first hot day. We've had winter over
But just
here.
to finish up about the Keli Holiday song.
No, let's talk about the weather.
No, I think you can get really stuck in these limiting beliefs about the only way to break through is this, the only way to break through is that. And I think songs like this should be a reminder to all artists that begin with something high quality, emotional, and real, and then find a way to communicate that in a deeply personal way that will tell the story of it. And that's what Adam and Abby did really well with this song, and I'm just really happy that it's so successful.
And is it that inspiring for you to do this?
It is,
same?
yeah.
That's
Well,
so
not the
good.
same, but to remember that when you're creating work, keep looking for unique ways to tell the story that only you can tell. You know, it's the
Yeah.
Lena Dunham quote we've talked about so much. Like, find the story only you can tell and tell it with whatever's available.
Love that.
Yeah, there you go. We went to a great exhibition in
Oh
the
my
week
God.
at the Cassandra Bird Gallery. It was
so
the Tennant
good.
Creek Brio or Brio, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it was an indigenous art collective.
Yeah.
And I mean, talk about the venue
Well,
too.
the
It was
venue was like a big old house that had been converted into a art gallery
in Potts Point.
in Potts Point, and it's not easy to do. You know, you have to know how to do that and have good taste, what to keep, what to whitewash over, what to, you know, like how to light it. The lighting, like they had these lights, these overhead lights to light the art, because, you know, it's a gallery that had this, like, they were from Germany and they had this little like grid or like visor on them, and they looked good, but then it wasn't like glary. It was really bright, but like pleasant. And it was, you know, it's like whoever is picking the art, like every single piece was terrific. Also, the backyard was reminding me of being in Brooklyn. It was like
a great courtyard.
beautiful
right?
courtyard, like a big courtyard, and they have summer parties there and stuff. But it had that vibe of like, yeah, like a courtyard in Brooklyn or in Los Feliz or something. And just, yeah, like every bit of art. Some of them were painted on things that were from the mines.
Because I guess it was hard for the artists to find art materials and canvases and stuff out there. So they
exactly
did a lot of
what
work on car hoods and pieces of corrugated iron and even copper pots.
Yeah, and you were just saying use what you've got.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, people painted on bark and stuff like that. But yeah, they used what they had, and the pieces, just everything was like really well done. And then downstairs was kind of like a whole other. Every floor was like such a vibe. Anyway, it's kind of hard to make a gallery vibey, and you know what I mean? There's those beautiful galleries that are all white. I mean, this was white, but anyway, I was really inspired. I loved,
Both the space and the work were
and
just
the people
really,
were
really good,
great.
really
and
inspiring.
so, yeah, it's so fun to discover stuff in a city.
Totally. You had a birthday this week too.
Yeah, I almost like, what did I do? I almost can't remember.
Well, sort of Bangkok was like both of our birthday
Yeah.
trips. We had a birthday dinner for you at home.
That's right. And you and I had a long lunch.
Yeah, we did. Went to the Bistro Moncoeur, had that, what's it called?
Souffle.
Souffle.
That
So
was
good.
oh,
French
speaking
onion souffle.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of the souffle, because this souffle was it wasn't French onion, was it? It was like a cheese.
French onion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't your classic cheese souffle, which I went to a lunch once and the woman made cheese souffle. I think there's tomato soup, a beautiful salad, and bread. And that's like a perfect, you know, fat, salt, that whole combo. But this had a bread component, because some souffle, a cheese souffle, which is historically or not historically, but hard to do because it has to puff up and you have to get the right temperature, and you know, it's not an easy thing to make. But this had a bread thing to it, which was amazing. But we went to the pub and there was a Sunday roast.
Oh wait, you're talking about
last
back
night.
in Blackheath. Yeah.
Last
okay,
night.
yeah.
And so what were we talking about? Sunday roast.
We're talking about your birthday.
No, I know, but I'm talking about the
Oh, no, you said, yeah, that was hilarious.
I'm
like
talking
your
about-
mum started talking
'cause
about
my
Yorkshire
birthday
pudding.
meal was the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
delicious bread, savory bread element to
yeah.
the lunch.
No, but your mum said, I tried the Yorkshire pudding somewhere. It wasn't good. And you said in the sweetest way, you said, but my question is it possible to have a good Yorkshire pudding? And I thought, what a conundrum.
I know, because we were just talking about like biscuits, how amazing biscuits
This is
are.
biscuits in America are different. Like Australians don't actually know about biscuit
Biscuits are like
culture.
southern,
They're buttermilk.
yeah. And they're
And
like
you eat
the
them
best.
with fried chicken and waffles.
Or
and it's
honey and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, biscuits are like, I never eat a biscuit, but I was thinking for my kid, we should just like make biscuits just to have them in the house.
Yeah, because in Australia we have Bickies and tea, but they're all like thin.
Yeah.
little
Then
sweet
maybe I
biscuits,
can't
yeah.
get biscuits here.
You'd have to make them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. In any case, so we
But did you have a good birthday?
I
mean,
had
in
a great
general?
birthday. I loved my lunch and and then the kids, they made dinner and then I don't know. It was cute. I just like bonded with the girls.
Yeah.
My daughters.
Good. I know. Yeah. It definitely becomes every,
Oh yeah. We have a new we have a new room. I've never known how to like incorporate a big TV screen. Like usually we never have a big TV screen.
something no American has ever said.
We just don't. And everyone, of course, watches on our computers. But every once in a while, because they cost like not much these days, I will get one and then never watch it, like ever. But finally, we have this room. It's like sort of a guest room, little room. And there's like the TV in there. And I think we've cracked the code. So I thought for my birthday, I was going to like put on just like some movie, cozy movie, and sit in there and watch it. But then my daughters came in and cuddled with me, which was, of course, even better. But,
A lovely hijacking.
Yeah, the best kind.
I wanted to chat about our friend Ian Rogers, who's also a beautiful baby, big podcast listener.
Ian.
He made a return visit to Rick Rubin's podcast, Tetragrammaton. And it was really, really fascinating. I have so many thoughts about it.
Listen to the first one, Ian Rogers on Rick Rubin. Is so good.
Yeah, so Ian's background is he comes from basically music website design and went into streaming and then developed Beats that became Apple Music and then went to LVMH, head of digital, and now he's at Ledger.
And he started as, when I met him, he was like a teen dad from Indiana.
And the Beastie Boys website guy.
With no dough, but being like the most amazing father to his kid and like a single, sharing her with the mom, but like so impressive and just like a skater dude. And he turned out to be this really amazing thinker.
And he said something really cool that I texted you when I heard it on the podcast. He said, Rick asked him, what's the main thing you learned about luxury brands at LVMH? And he said, the main thing I learned was storytelling plus time equals value. So basically the reason that all of these brands have heft to them, the reason they have genuine value is that over time they have told their story slowly, deliberately, conscientiously.
Yeah.
Like stories involve attention to detail and quality. And generally, he said there seems to be about a 15-year arc before the storytelling of whether it's an artist or a brand reaches fruition. And then there can be an inflection point in culture that you can take advantage of to catapult to the next level. But it made me think a lot about Weirder Together and our growth and even our individual careers and how even if you do get that initial first flush of success, like we both did, we both got invited into culture very early on, but the actual story of what we have to say as individuals and as artists develops over many decades.
Yeah. You either have to like keep your philosophy like just really strong and you just stick to that one thing. Or you're, like Coco Chanel, like started with like, she did the little black dress, then she did perfume bottles that looked masculine, which had never been done. And if you can weave it together over the years, all the things that kind of hit here and there, and it tells a story, that's pretty amazing.
And part of it is also like watching people over long terms or companies, brands over long terms. The way they dance and pivot through culture as culture moves is partly what tells the story about them. It's not only the intentional things, it's the way they respond to actual moments and crises and blocks and customer needs. And anyways,
that's true.
Very, very cool. But it also made me think about Rick. And I definitely have conflicted feelings about Rick Rubin. And I don't know, I was just curious, like what your... you knew him for a very long time, right?
Yeah. I mean, Rick and George Dekulius were like besties, but Rick and Adam Horovitz and the Beastie Boys, they were really close. Like Adam and Rick were like best friends at one point. And I think he's fascinating. Like back then he was really fascinating. Just he seemed very interesting and not insecure, but just finding his way, I guess. You can tell like he was ambitious and, you know, liked women and like, but he was feeling his way into, because he's like an unusual, now he looks like, you know, he's so like food is his religion and, you know, spirituality and all of that, which is fascinating. But consequently, he looks terrific. And he always was a very striking man, but he was unusual. But he always had like the beard and was sort of a big guy. And so I don't know, I just assumed that might be a little difficult in life. So there was a built-in insecurity in a way, you know, but he's always like handsome and dynamic and all of that. But I just thought he was, I mean, you know, he's notoriously known to be quiet, but he was sillier, you know, goofy and funny. And, you know, so I think back then everyone was still like pranksters and silly. And now when you think of Rick, he's like sage.
Yeah, what do you think about his role in culture? Because he's assumed a very sort of prestigious role.
I mean, I find my spiritual ego or whatever, what's that term where you get like a big ego around yourself?
Sure, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Pride.
My like pride, and for better or worse, like because my mom was like such a health nut in the 70s. Like she knew all the crazy shit that, you know, whatever, apple cider vinegar and like everything under the sun that people talk about now, alternative medicine and all of that, health food. So I had an early introduction to it. And then being in LA as well, in the time I was in LA, I got into all that stuff, you know, colonics and juice fasts and, you know, like everything alternative stuff that you can. So I kind of went through that, and even like being neurotic about it, like, and making food your religion. And, you know, like if only I can just like only do these. Anytime I went to a new city, I found the health food store. I brought my healthy things with me. And then I kind of like had a reverse awakening where I don't know, it's like it's not going to save you, you know, if you're lucky enough to afford all that stuff.
So wait, Rick Rubin's role in culture.
So anyone who starts believing in that kind of thing that intensely, I don't know, I don't like it, basically, bottom line.
Okay, gotcha.
And I don't mind if you're quietly doing it. Like I think it's good to encourage people, sure. Like if you're vegan and you believe in it and you want to say to somebody at the right time, sure, great. But I just I don't know. You know me. The minute someone starts telling me how to live, I'm like, fuck you. Like I just don't like it. Not that he's done it to me, but I have an aversion to, you know, of course there's a place for it. And I guess I did it so much that now I'm in the kind of like, meaning I wanted people to tell me what to do so much that now I'm in the kind of, don't tell me. Like you said something interesting, the difference between like Rick Rubin and Questlove, like in their books, like Questlove is like a student who got passionate about things. And I was saying kind of like Adam Yauch was like that. Like if he was into cooking, like, you know, Questlove was really like into learning about chefs and or whatever he was into. And Adam Yauch from the Beastie Boys was like that, like got super into and studied. Whereas Rick, I guess, is more like telling people how to live.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to hear?
I'm curious. No, I'm just curious what you thought, because it's someone you've watched someone go from like an aspiring creative to like a cultural guru. It's interesting. Like
I think it's great. Like I'm so happy for him, and I do think his like intentions are good, and that he's also, it's nice to see somebody with confidence go far. And obviously he's bright and like magical, and he's a really amazing producer. And strangely has produced my father, my ex-husband, and my first, you know, Anthony Kiedis, like sort of all these three. And you're next, you hopefully.
No, I think so.
Anyway,
yeah.
But I think it's very impressive, and by studying him, you can see like, wow, just believing in yourself, that basically can dreams will come true.
I think Rick Rubin's contribution to culture is like undeniable, right? Like he's made so many offerings that have become part of the fabric of the way we think about music that it's like you can't argue with success.
No.
It's 100% like he's changed the game multiple times.
And like some success is like trash and his is like,
that's right. It's good quality.
Yeah.
But he invites us to think about his ideas a lot. So I do take his ideas seriously, and I have wrestled with a lot of them, and I do struggle with Rick Rubin positioning himself as a guru, which is what you were talking about too. I see, as someone that's gone through spiritual sort of trends or my own investigations and stuff, I see gurus as kind of inherently getting in the way of creativity rather than facilitating it. So I think there is something innately problematic about anyone who positions themselves as having the answer.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, like on Instagram, like, and whatever, how many times do you repost or like send things that like Eartha Kitt said, or like, James Baldwin, or, so many people that said these amazing things. But I think it's just that there was an interview they did, and you're just like, oh my God, that's fire.
It's not just that. With Rick Rubin, there is a very intentional posturing as a guru.
Saying. No,
that's not an
that's
accident.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a difference.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
With like, these like people who just happen to be kind of, sage. They said these iconic, Andy Warhol, like everybody is interesting and everyone's rich. Like these really interesting sentences, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes, whatever it is, like, and more. There's other ones that are more along like spiritual lines or whatever, whatever. John Waters, like people say amazing things, but yeah, I think it's like Rick Rubin is amazing. He doesn't need to have a parade.
Yeah, but I think that is part of his brand.
Right.
And
okay.
I think
it does well for people.
It's done well, but I think considering the main part of his brand is helping people access creativity, I think in some ways there's a counterproductive thing going on when you position yourself as a gatekeeper or a keeper of secret special knowledge that regular people can't access, that you can help people point the direction to truth. And I think that ultimately derails people's creative journeys.
Interesting. So it derails them because
gurus are based on the idea that there are special people.
Yeah.
And
they are. Everyone's special.
But no one's special. Yeah.
Sure.
There isn't. I believe creativity is not about a hierarchy of individuals. I do not believe people possess special secret knowledge, and I think the degree of influence that his persona has is partly because of the way he positions himself as this authority figure, and allegedly, some of his politics, we saw a real trend of like the hippie, crunchy side go towards the right wing.
Guns in the desert.
All that stuff.
I don't know. I'm not saying.
No, but you're exactly.
I'm just
allegedly.
I'm not saying for him.
No, but listen, as someone who invites us to think about his ideas and take them seriously, I think it's fair to consider this stuff. What is the influence, the subtle influences he's having on culture? And when you talk about slightly even encouraging artists in a way of thinking that, look, the situation that America is in right now with the erosion of gay rights, women's rights, civil rights, if you are in a position of influence, and I'm not just talking about what your personal political beliefs are, if you're in a position of influence and if you have used that platform to edge things towards the place they're in now, I think there's sort of blood on your hands.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the complicated thing about the role of the guru, that if you're going to take responsibility for the good stuff people are accessing, you've also got to take responsibility for the way you might be negatively impacting culture. And that's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, because well said. So the same people who are getting good kind of insight and wise words, and, you could say that the good side of Rick Rubin is he could help people learn how to be creative. They're going to find out that some of his beliefs are actually, they're going to find out about his politics?
Well, allegedly, there are multiple artists who have said there's been conversations behind the scenes that...
And because he's
have veered in a
influent...
certain- and because it's more than personal politics, once you're in a position of influence as a record producer, as a gatekeeper, as a cultural icon. So I wrestle with this stuff. I'm not saying I know what the answer is, but I think people in positions of power are complex.
You have a responsibility.
And we do also, again... He invites us to consider all these things,
right.
these ideas. So I think it's fair game.
Yeah, and someone else on the other side would, or whatever, not like it should be sides. I wish, whatever. They might, if they believed that gay marriage was bad and abortion was bad, they wouldn't want to be influenced by an artist or an actor or whoever they liked that was like Jane Fonda, who was... where she stands politically.
Yeah, and it's complicated with spiritual things because Rick has been given a lot of credit for like getting artists into meditation, off drugs and into meditation. Well, that's also been through TM, which I think is a cult.
Right.
That is also another guru-based cult. And much like Scientology, they've also helped people get off heroin.
Yeah.
Ultimately, are they doing good or bad if you funnel people from one destructive way of thinking into another slightly destructive way of thinking?
I mean, we can get off this topic soon, but someone like Matthew McConaughey, that's more direct because like he got paid so much money for...
Do like a self-help seminar type thing.
A seminar that the people who organized, and he got so much friggin' money for the seminar, whether it made them feel better or not, and that's sort of just a money thing, which is almost more transparent.
No, but there is something similar. Matthew McConaughey is selling I am a successful alpha male, right? He's also putting his position of power, the glamour of that, he's selling access to that back to people through these online seminars.
Zooms.
There is Zooms, exactly.
But he's not on the Zoom.
Well, he's on it, but it's like a video cast or whatever, right?
Well, it's a video of him, or is it live?
I don't know.
Whatever it is, it's
a
amazing
rip-off.
business if you're on the side of getting the money. But is it like temporarily? Maybe it's making people feel better.
Well, but that's what we're wrestling with. This whole guru culture and self-help culture. All of it temporarily makes you feel better. But what I'm asking is, ultimately, where is it headed? And my proposition is that the place it's ultimately headed is not a place of deeper creativity. It's a place it's a place of subservience and lack of autonomy and lack of free thinking.
Right. Sure.
Amen. That's the end of that.
Right.
I did want to, just before we wrap up, Alex Braverman, who we talked about the Andy Kaufman documentary, and he'd actually wrote to us saying that the way we talked about his doco was one of the most accurate assessments of a particular aspect of the film. But I listened to him on the Ion Pax documentary recently, and he brought up a doco that I think a lot of our audience would love, but might not know about.
We may have talked about this already, but...
The Cruise.
Yeah.
It's a documentary about a New York City bus conductor called Timothy Speedlevich. My song, No Right Angles, from Awake As You New Sleep, was based on him.
Yep.
And it was just cool to hear that film get props. It's the original. I think the director was Bennett Miller, who went on to do Capote and stuff. But this was his first film, and it was a doco, and it is such a good watch.
No, it's a great documentary.
Yeah. Would you remember when you first saw that?
I saw it with you when we were first dating. Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Was a real like shot on, HD cam type thing. Like it's really low and cheap and nasty, but inspiring and philosophical and deep. And
you get swept right in and you're staying the whole time.
End of our first in-bed pod. What are your thoughts? Any reflections?
How did you feel about it?
I feel good about it. I mean, I'll know more when I actually watch the footage and listen to the quality of it and if it cuts together, but I've enjoyed it.
I've
have liked
enjoyed it too. I've really liked it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like you. I like the beautiful
I like
babies.
you too. Let's see where we're headed. Beautiful babies. Once again, anytime you come up and say hello to us in public, never feel shy. We're so grateful. Anyone who listens to the pod and enjoys it,
yeah,
so
it's
good.
So true. People love to hear that you love our pod.
If you're not on our mailing list, you can get into the
You know what I mean.
what you mean. Yeah,
Podcasters like it.
They love it. We love to know. But yeah, if you want to join the mailing list, the link is in the show notes.
Subscribe,
smash that follow button. Awake is a new sleep tour coming up very shortly in a couple of weeks.
You can buy or listen to my book, Say Everything.
You can. And all in all, it's our birthday month and we're celebrating all month.
Virgos. I share my birthday with Beyonce, Mark Ronson.
And DJ Them Jeans.
Them Jeans.
Kirsty
Hume,
yeah. Beautiful babies, we love you. Check in shortly.
Together we're weirder together.